Imagine Europe around the year 1000, a land of stone keeps, rising cathedrals, and kings who ruled by divine right. The crowns were heavy then, not just of gold, but of belief that a ruler's power flowed from heaven itself. Knights rode beneath banners, stitched by lamplight, and royal courts buzzed with whispers about marriages, alliances, and who might next sit upon the throne. The world felt vast, yet every border was watched carefully. In England, the Norman conquest brought William, with his ships and soldiers, reshaping language and law. Kings came and went, claiming power through birth or blade, while far to the east, emperors held glittering courts full of silks and incense in Constantinople. Monarchs everywhere balanced ambition with fear of rebellion, of famine, of the church's stern judgment. Castles rose higher, moats dug deeper, and royal seals stamped decrees that touched every life. The Middle Ages drifted on like a candle slowly burning. The Crusades turned kings into warriors of faith, riding toward lands they believed promised by God. In France, Capetian rulers expanded their reach, weaving together fragmented lands into a kingdom that would one day shine like a jewel. In the Holy Roman Empire, emperors tried to command a realm too large to truly control, negotiating endlessly with lords whose loyalty could flicker like a torch in wind. By the 1200s, royalty had become a kind of theater. Crowns glimmered over feasts, minstrels sang the praises of noble bloodlines, and marriages created alliances stretching across seas. Yet beneath all the ceremony, monarchs worried constantly about heirs. Who would take the throne? Would siblings fight? Would enemies strike when the crown passed from one hand to another? Even in richly decorated chambers, sleep did not always come easily to kings. Then came the Black Death, silent and unstoppable. Royal households suffered alongside every village and town. Crowns that once symbolized immortality could not save their wearers. After the plague loosened its grip, the world looked sharply different. In England and France, the 100 Years' War dragged across generations, kings trying to carve history from fields of muddy armor and splintered arrows. Still, royalty endured. Renaissance light gently replaced medieval shadows. Monarchs became patrons, surrounding themselves with artists, philosophers, and scientific thinkers. Kings and queens encouraged the new while clinging to the old, hoping reason and religion could share the same throne. In Spain, 2 royal houses joined and sent ships across oceans. In the Ottoman Empire, sultans ruled lands that stretched farther than many had dreamed possible. The world expanded, and royal power stretched and strained with it. By the 1600s, some rulers declared themselves absolute, none more famously than the Sun King of France, whose palace at Versailles shone with impossible splendor. Yet for every glittering ballroom, there were murmurs of unrest. Subjects began to ask where a king's authority truly came from. Books and ideas carried quiet revolutions from one candlelit room to another. The 1700s brought storms. In France, a king and queen found their crowns could not shield them from revolution. Blood flowed where once only roses grew in palace gardens. Across Europe, other kings watched anxiously, tightening their grip or trying to show a gentler hand. Some thrones toppled. Others adapted, trading absolute rule for shared power. Monarchs becoming symbols as much as rulers. As centuries turned again, the age of empires reached its height. Queens and kings governed lands scattered like pearls on distant maps. The British monarchy, especially, held territories so vast that the sun was said never to set on them. But the world kept changing faster than crowns could follow. Wars erupted, first one, then another, reshaping borders, ending dynasties, and reminding everyone that royal blood flowed like any other. By the 1900s, many monarchs had stepped back from ruling and stepped forward as guardians of tradition. Thrones survived, not by divine command, but by loyalty and affection from the people. Kings and queens attended ceremonies, comforted nations in dark times, and watched their roles evolve into something ceremonial, yet still deeply rooted in history. As the year 2000 approached, 1,000 years of royal stories settled into memory. The rise and fall of castles, The flutter of banners in battlefields long forgotten, the laughter of coronations, and the solemn silence of tombs beneath cathedrals. Monarchs had loved, feared, hoped, and dreamed, just as every person does, even while wearing crowns that marked them as something more. Time had polished away the sharp edges of power, leaving behind pageantry, heritage, and the gentle glow of tradition. Across the world, some kingdoms remained modern and calm, others lived only in tale and legend. But all those centuries of royal footsteps still echo faintly, like distant drums, leading back through the ages, a reminder that history is never truly asleep, only resting. And now, so can you.